So hey guys, and basically in this session, what I did at Teamsport Birmingham was simple. Try to train up for the upcoming local finals that I have at Teamsport Birmingham, which will be live on the day, so basically on Wednesday. It's gonna be live around 7ish when it starts. But to be honest though, in order to train up, you want to make sure you pretty much remove everything that you did beforehand. This also includes all the shitty movements and maneuvers that I did in the previous video, and eaten them up by a shit ton. Basically, it literally looks like a transformation because I did it in such a short amount of time that I'm actually surprised because simply I never knew that playing F125 beforehand and then just going out and doing the same thing would make it work. Not only that, right, but on the way there, I literally practiced with my mind. Pretty much what normally other drivers would normally do. Pretty much find out a way in order to simply glide the cars into the corners, and that by finding the perfect boosting corners that I normally show. Where I normally press the buttons is mostly where like I'll probably do it probably the local finals just so I could get that extra speed that I need in order to simply not only clip the corners but also to literally get the acceleration in. And not that right, but I did it a lot more later, so much so, in fact, right, I was back to pretty much not only overtaking much more effectively, but also gaining a nice amount of distance for each second I did, second I actually driven on that track after I'd done that overtake. It seems like a genuine improvement from the previous video, and it's quite surprising. So, pretty much what I did is gone from getting used to the track to simply versing people who are not really daily, pretty much people who dailies or barely gone, just so that I could figure out a way not to do overtakes, take turns nice and well, basically train up the most important bits. And it's lucky that in this particular session, I had two sessions, and the one of them I achieved a nice 48.9, which is absolutely great and pretty much breaks my personal record. And now, right, my average is now 49 seconds, which is absolutely peak now because it goes below the 50. Which, if it goes below 50, that is pretty much competitive level. If it's above 50, it is casual level. That's what I'm gonna put it as. If your time's above 50, it ain't competitive, and you have to make sure to keep it down. But if you want to be competitive, make sure your times are below 50, and also make sure right that you in fact use the yellows as an advantage in order to warm up your tires. Because simply driving without warmed up tires would lead you to slide and an eventual loss of acceleration, grippy on corners, basically all that and all that, right? But the weight movement, your body's gonna move all over the place, especially when you're gonna take the turns. So just go with the flow of it. That's what I normally do, and it'll be a lot more easier, but also a lot more effective since, well, you're gonna be a lot more better, especially for the fact that you put more weight on the outside, which you should do compared to putting more weight on the inside, which would kind of fuck it up really. So don't fight it and go nice and jelly with it. And also, if you want to be nice and jelly with it, find a way in order to do these pro wrestling classes or yoga classes. Make sure you stay flexible because simply having a non-flexible body would, of course, reduce your effectiveness on the track. But having it nice and flexible will make it so like that if your body is gonna adjust to the make so that your body gets adjusted faster to the turns and shit, which is a lot more better. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be my rants over. I'm actually for last 48. Just love for this video. Take each course that I do, and also be nice and not nice and gentle, be nice and competitive. But what a racer always does within his lifetime is go for an overtake, or okay, go for a gap that ain't there. Every single racer done it, and if you haven't done it yet, it's going to be a time eventually. It's going to be a time in the future where you're going to take a gap that ain't there and you're going to fuck it up. Me, I take multiple gaps and some of them were beyond illegal, I think. But I don't think I think they let me get away with it because simply by the fact that I needed to overtake because I was going to be faster. But that's mostly it. So yeah, always if you're gonna compete, especially for team sport, is gonna be the BIKC. So view the rulebook of team sport and the BIKC to make sure that you're following it. By the way, there's a little bit confusing thing. You're allowed to live stream your local finals on YouTube. I hope to God and everyone else will also be allowed to simply record their local finals, because it'd be actually quite cool just to see not if multiple tracks during the BIKC 25 local finals live, but also be great just so that people in the local area could just see what's up in that local area. Wow. So yeah, that's mostly gonna be it. Enjoy the video.